Welcome to Oracle Application Express, the user interface, themes. A theme is nothing more than a collection of templates. If you remember back from the original lessons, when we created our application, towards the end of the creation process, a wizard asked us what theme we wanted to use for our application. I'm going to create a new application just to remind you of what it looks like in the wizard. Here you can see the themes that are available to us inside of Oracle Apex. Oracle provides 6 standard themes. Some of them have HTML5 capabilities, and a bunch of legacy themes that are not so popular anymore, but are still available to you. If I made a choice on this page of the wizard to use a mobile user interface as opposed to a desktop interface, when I got to the user interface theme page of the wizard, I would only have one option available to me, and that's the jQuery mobile smartphone theme. Themes, like templates, are contained under shared components. So if I look at themes for this particular application, you'll see that the only one I have in there is productivity applications. The create button is a little misleading. It makes you think that you can create a new theme here. You really can't. What you're doing when you say create a new theme is that you're adding an existing theme to the application. Once you add an existing theme to the application, you can then switch themes if you'd like to. So when I click Create Theme, you can see I can either create one from the repository, from scratch, or from an export. If I select from the repository, I can specify my user interface. Since 26 is already selected, it doesn't show up here. Let me select 24. And again, when I say create, I'm just making this theme available to me inside of my application. The star indicates what theme is currently the active theme, so I can now switch themes if I wanted to. Oracle will present a page that lists any incompatibilities between the themes. I don't really want to do that now, so I'm just going to hit cancel. Just remember, you don't have to go out and create a new theme anytime you want to change some of the user interface elements. You can go into the theme selected for the application, go to your templates, and select a different template if you want to change one of your user interface elements around. You can also copy an existing template and modify it to look exactly the way you want it to. The downside to that is any changes that you make inside of the theme will also be seen by other developers who then use that theme for their application. If you want to create your own theme, you can do that, but it's a little tricky. We're going to go through the steps now. In the previous lesson, we established an FTP connection to our database. Not an FTP connection to the server that's running on the database, but to the actual database itself. We took a look at the images directory. Underneath the images directory, we see themes, and under the themes directory, we can see all the different themes that come out of the box with Oracle Application Express. For us to create our own theme, we're going to have to copy a bunch of files around and modify a few of them. So I'm going to create a theme, and I'm going to give it a name of Theme 100. The easiest way to do that is to create a local directory on your hard drive. I have this temp directory. And under my temp directory, I'm going to create a directory called Theme 100. I'm going to take all of the files from an existing theme. I'll take Theme 26 and copy them into my Theme 100 directory. The next thing I'm going to have to do is export the SQL that's associated with the theme I just copied. So if I go into Shared Components and then Themes, along the right-hand side of the screen here, you see I have Export Theme. I'm going to select that, choose the theme that I want to export, the file format. Since I'm running this on a Windows machine, I don't want a Unix type export. I want a DOS type export. Once I say Export Theme, the SQL script that builds my theme is exported to my local directory. Now that the SQL for this theme is exported, we need to edit this SQL script and change all of the file references from Theme 26 to Theme 100. So if I take a look at this SQL file, and I pull it up in my editor, if I do a find on Theme 26, you'll see that it's referenced over and over again inside of my directory structure. I don't want to be looking at the information inside the Theme 26 directory. I want to look for this inside my Theme 100 directory. So I'm going to do a search and replace. And I'm going to search for theme 26 and replace that with theme 100. Now, inside of my directory, I need to create the new theme directory and copy the CSS files, images files, and JS files from my local directory into that. So if I scroll up under themes, I can create a new directory. I'm going to call it theme 100. And then I'm going to copy pieces into my theme 100 directory. We also have to make one more change inside of our SQL file. Where we set the gflow theme ID, we need to change that from 26 to 100. This is a comment right before it, so it's probably a good idea to change that in case we're ever going to look at this file again. And the prompt, we need to change that to 100. I'm also going to change the name of the theme. I'm going to call it Chris Theme 1. And I can do that by searching for the call to the create theme procedure. I simply change the theme name into something meaningful. Now that I've saved all of this information, let's import the theme. If I go into the theme section of my shared components for my application, there's an import theme link here on the right-hand side of the screen. I simply specify my file, which in this case is f101 theme_100. Make sure it's a theme export that I'm trying to input. The export file has been imported successfully. Once I click on Next, it'll ask me if I want to replace the existing theme or to create a brand new theme. So I'm just going to replace the existing theme. I have a confirmation page, and as you can see, the old theme has been replaced, and the new theme with the name Chris Theme 1 has been installed. One thing that's important to mention, if we go back to the page of the wizard where I actually confirm the file that I want to import for my new theme, you'll notice that it's associated with a current application. When I create this new theme, it's now dependent upon this application. It will not show up in my list of default themes when I create a new application.